Hi, good morning. It's Sherry Veronica, and this article just popped up on my phone, and I actually think it's a good law if they can have it passed in any jurisdiction. There should be a law that prohibits not only partners, but kids. There should be a law to prohibit anyone from benefiting from a death of someone, your spouse or your family member, your mom, your dad. There should be laws in place to prohibit you from collecting anything that they have owned after you abused them and probably contributed to their death. Okay? I think that laws, it should be common sense. There need to be common sense laws where someone can be abused and neglected, pushed to the point of no return. There should be laws in place to make sure that you do not inherit that person's estate. Now, how do you police it? Who would bring it before the courts, and how long would that process take? There's probate at the moment, which can be really time consuming, and this is not a probate matter. This will be a probate matter on steroids. Yes, I do think that people who treat their significant other or a parent or a sibling, if you treat that person poorly, if you were abusive, if you push them to suicide, if you push them to have a stroke, you can cause people so much stress that they can end up having a stroke. So the courts need to look at these matters, but the trick is, who would bring it before the court, and what proof would you have? Would you have to have the fact that the police came to the house more than one time on disputes of abuse, of violence, of whatever? If you have stress, how do you prove that your daughter or your son or your husband or your sister, how do you prove that that person was the result of your stress? And if push come to shove and you die, if you were to die as a result of that maltreatment, how is that proven in a court of law? And who brings it? What family member will bring that before the court of law? And can you actually then turn to that family member if they want to pursue it and say, well, that person is causing you stress? Do you become what you try to prevent if you take it to court? Let's say that your brother treated your mom poorly and she died. Taking your brother to court can cause him stress. Okay? It's all stress. Everything that deals with the court and deals with family dynamics and these things that you cannot quantify. There's certain things you cannot quantify, because some things could be cumulative. It could be childhood trauma that is brought into your adult life. How do you measure it? But I do think that when it is overt, when it is something that is right in your face and it's obvious, that I do think that victims should never leave their estate to the abuser. Victims should be protected. If there's a death, victims should have coverage, should have protection under any jurisdiction. They need to look at what contributed to that person's death, and maybe they're mediators, maybe they're there can be people within the court system who look at these things, but I do think that if someone dies and they die of a broken heart can make you do a lot of things. If that person dies of a broken heart, the court should look at who inherits that person's estate when that person dies. Okay? Like I said, it will be very hard to police such matters. How do you measure it? How is it measured? Okay? It's going to be difficult, but I do think that there should be laws to protect a person who dies of a broken heart. Okay? So just let it marinate in your mind. And another thing that I want to talk about is parents being charged when their kids commit certain crimes. I'm going to talk about that too. But the law has to be inclusive. The laws of the land should be inclusive and protective. And if you are an abuser, you should not profit from it. That's the bottom line. I could have said that in one sentence. But if you are an abusive person, you should never profit from your abuse. This is Sherry Veronica.